Hi, and welcome to your class on organ healing. So today's class, we're going to dive deep into the organs of vitality. So at this point, you've done a lot to bring up your vitality centers. You've done awareness, you've done breath, you've done reverse and normal abdominal breathing. You've got the spine activated. You've got the higher brain centers activated. You've got the lymphatic system moving, and you've got the system contracting and relaxing and opening up and constricting and moving all the chemistry and all the blood and all the nutrition throughout your body. So now we're going to dive deep into the specific organs of the body and get each and every organ stronger and more vibrant and more active so they can do their job and create the proper chemistries and do the proper nutrition and detoxification pathways that we require for a vibrant and vitalistic life. All right, so we're just going to dive into each organ specifically. Now, in your anatomy book, you have each organ and each organ system and what they specifically do. Like, for example, the spleen that has 3 things that it does really, really importantly with the blood. And you have the liver, which does the 3 phases of detoxification with other organs of the system to get rid of the waste of the body so it doesn't come back into the blood, doesn't retoxify the system, but it's gone. It's neutralized, it's eliminated, and then your body isn't as swollen, as puffy, and as degenerative as it had been in the past, but now working towards a more robust and vitalistic system globally and holistically overall. So the hands-on techniques are going to be mostly rubbing, some percussion, and some of the what was like the lymphatic tissue, which was the rubbing, but a little deeper in, okay? So we're going to be working on those techniques from a hands technique. Again, all techniques, you want your breath work, you want your normal and or reverse, and with movements of the body, we'll also be able to express these organ systems in different ways. So in your anatomy book and in your workbook, you have a sequence of where the organ is, where the technique is done, and then what techniques are best done per organ. So I'm going to go over a specific way in this video, but it's not the only way, but it is a very powerful way. Look at your workbook, look at your anatomy, and see what ways work best for you as you learn this way and do the drill and learn the skill. As you get better, you're going to see dots connect. You're going to see techniques connect. You're going to see how this system is taking you onto your journey of healing and recovery and exuberance, and where sickness and disease isn't ever an issue anymore. It's just now living the most vibrant life possible that you can do. All right, so let's start with the thyroid and the parathyroid. So up here in the neck, about mid-neck, you got this nice little butterfly organ right through here. And around it is the parathyroid. Okay? So we're going to work on just gently massaging it. You want to find where, so there's your windpipe. Right on the side, there's a little, oh, there's the tissue. I feel it. It feels like a little tissuey. Feels like an organ. And you're just going to massage on the left and right. Nice little circles. As you breathe in and breathe out. And you can also then do a nice little tap. And what you're doing with every single technique is you're bringing more blood to the area, and you're allowing more waste to be eliminated out of that area, and you're activating that organ to do its work. Whether that organ is fatigued or it's hyperreactive, these techniques will help bring it back into a balanced state and help it then communicate with the systems above and the systems below and the systems around it, like connecting to like a Wi-Fi network versus a linear progression. It's how the system works. It's wonderful like that. It works linearly and non-linearly, but working on the organs themselves, you know you're hitting both parts. So here's your thyroid and parathyroid, and we're just going to rub that. And again, with each part, pause the video, get used to it, find the connection, restart the video, and you're in the next part of the process. So there's your parathyroid. Now the next one down is our thymus gland. So here's your clavicles, and on the sides of the clavicle, you got this nice big bone here underneath this nodule, this notch here, this big bone. That's called the manubrium. And behind the manubrium is your thymus gland. Your thymus gland is your electrical spark plug for your thyroid and your heart and your immune system. Helps the immunity go from an inflammatory immune system into a healthy immune system that's non-inflammatory. And so we're going to percuss the thymus gland. Finding your breath, finding your rate, and finding your rhythm. Again, prescriptively, we're at 3 to 5 full breaths or 30 seconds per system, per location. Now, what I love to do with the thymus gland is add a mantra of powerful affirmation of self-love. And when you do the thymus gland with self-love affirmation, things get really strong. Now, within trauma drama, there's an unconscious belief structure that doesn't believe it doesn't have your best interests or beliefs in mind. Okay? It says, I can't do this. I'm not allowed to do this. I am not that. All these different things. It believes falsehoods about yourself that aren't actually true, but it believes it to be true in a false way. A very powerful technique brought over from emotional freedom technique and tapping techniques is when you say the phrase, I deeply and completely love and accept who I am in myself. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Now, depending on where you are in your growth and journey, there are some unconscious systems that don't believe that. So by doing an affirmation of such a powerful stance, your body's going to be like, I don't believe that. And that's okay. So what do we do about that? We preface that phrase with the word possibility. It is possible, which makes an open, takes that left brain, that can't happen in this box, into the right brain. Oh, that's possible. That's okay. I can see where that's possible. All right, so we preface the phrase, it's possible to deeply and completely love and accept myself. And you will feel the breath come in, and you'll feel the breath come out. And then you connect more to that breath using the other techniques while you're thumping your thymus gland. It's possible for me to deeply and completely love and accept myself. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. In this situation, it's possible for me to deeply and completely love and accept myself. Yes, that is true. I deeply and completely love and accept myself, even though I'm in that situation. And you continue until the falsehoods of your unconscious start disappearing. It's a little added to the mental emotional techniques that are available, even though that's not part of this class. It's a very important part, specifically when we're dealing with the thymus gland. Okay, so there's your thymus thump. Next one is the lungs. We're going to find the clavicle, find where it comes into the shoulder and it dips down, and here's a muscle. You feel a dipping into it. It's like if I bring my shoulder over, there's a dip. There's the clavicle, there's a dip. That's the lung as well as lung. Okay? So you can percuss and or rub. I love to percuss this. I feel the most benefit for myself when I'm percussing the axillary and the lung reflex point. And I like to do both of them back and forth. Again, 30 seconds, 3 to 5 breaths as you're breathing in and breathing out. Now, this is your lung tissue, so your breath work should definitely be involved with it because you're increasing lung health. More hemoglobin, more expansive movement of the alveoli and of all the tissues in the lung. Up and down. Okay, there's your lung on the one side, and here's your lung on the other side. Same thing. Percussing, opening that up, and percussing and opening that up. Same process. Pause, work the tissue, and come back. All right, now we're going to skip the heart. We're going to do heart and circulatory in the next video series because that in itself is a huge thing. So we're going to skip the heart and we're going to dive over to the liver. Now, the liver does so many things. There's more things that the liver does. There's stars in the sky. It does everything. It builds your tissues, your connective tissue, your nervous system, and it works through helping the 3 phases of detoxification. So the healthier the liver is, the more your body can build and detoxify healthily and fully and completely. So we come down from the axillary, and right under the rib, on the right side, mid-nipple line to the right, there's your liver. So I'm going to work on the liver, percuss with a fist or percuss with an open cupping hand. 3 to 5 breaths or 30 seconds. The next one is the gallbladder. It comes out of the liver, sits like a balloon, catching the bile and ready to dispense it like a soap dispenser into the colon and digestive tract when it's needed to emulsify the fats, or what like soap does to grease in your sink. That's called emulsification. Helps with digestion and elimination of fat tissues. Okay? And what you do is, this is not a percussion, but a drag. So we're taking from the upper middle underneath the rib and kind of just moving the tissue down and out, and you're helping squeeze that gallbladder and you're helping squeeze the gallbladder and you're helping squeeze the gallbladder and get the bile to move properly. Okay? Next one is the duodenum, and that's the first 12 inches of the small intestines. And I like to cup, and so you see that little bony rib here? I come right into the middle of it, and I percuss it. I percuss, and I move that energy through. And there's the duodenum. Okay, next organ over is the stomach. I like to rub it and gently tap. Tapping doesn't feel quite nice, so more rubbing it helps out a lot until the tenderness isn't so much there. It's like, oh yeah, that doesn't hurt anymore. And you feel the openness, and you'll feel some belching come through and some movements of that organ, whether it's full with food or empty. And I highly recommend doing these organ work on an emptier stomach than a full stomach, but at the same time, doing this right after eating is very beneficial because it helps clean up and move the digestive organs overall. So you can do them both on an empty stomach, where then you're healing the organs and not having to worry about digested food, or doing the organs after you've eaten to help support digestive movement. Okay, now that was the stomach. Now we're going to come more over to the left side, and you got your pancreas. And here's the pancreas right underneath the breast tissue in this triangle right here from the bone, same kind of bone that was on with the duodenum. So you got this triangle right here, and there's your pancreas. Pancreas does a lot for blood sugar and enzyme function, for brain, digestion, hormone, and nerve, and vitality of hormones. So a lot of stuff happens within the pancreas. Okay, and you can do either hand, cupping or percussing. Again, you'll find what feels best for you. If it's too tender, go lighter. Do maybe a rub for a little bit and come back to it. Okay? There's your pancreas. Now we come further overall, and here's your spleen. It's the same location that the liver was, but on the other side. And there's the spleen organ. So you got your spleen. Same thing. 3 to 5 breaths, 30 seconds. Pause the video, get used to this organ, restart, and then we're on to the next one. Okay, so we've done the epigastrum, and now we're going to go into where the stomach connects to the duodenum and goes into the small intestines. Now, the small intestine likes to go in a clockwise fashion, and so we're going to rub in a clockwise fashion, a little deeper than what you had with lymphatic, because again, we're just working on superficial, but we're going to go a little deeper, and you can come around on the either side of the belly button and get the tissue all in there. Like really digging in there a little bit, finding the belly button. I'll lift my shirt up so you can see. Really getting the small intestines going, and then go back to the clockwise position. You're moving the energy, moving the food, moving the nutrition out of the colon, into the small intestines and into the colon. So now you've got the small intestine coming in here to the ileocecal valve. This is a doorway. So the food can go from the small intestines into the cecum, and then so it can then move up, over, and down. So you also have your appendix here, okay? So we're gonna come and move in from the belly button and go 2 inches to the right and 2 inches down. That's the ileocecal valve point. And we're gonna work on opening and closing the door. We don't care if it's stuck open or stuck closed. As long as we move the hinges of the door, it'll work wonderfully for you as your body digests. So I take a little dig in, and then I go up to my left shoulder and down to my right hip. And I'm just going back and forth. And you'll feel it in the organs, just a little, but don't go too deep. It's like, okay, yep, that I feel it. Not too much, not enough. There it is. You're opening up that door and closing that door. And again, 30 seconds to 3 to 5 breaths on that. So then you got the ascending colon coming from here. You can see where the abdominal line is here on the ribs. You're going to follow that line right up into the underneath the rib. And so I'm moving the tissue up. So I kind of come in and up, in and up, in and up. No, helping moving the organs up. And you'll feel it inside the organ. Like, okay, I feel that. Okay. Then there's the ascending. Now that comes over to the transverse, which is above the belly button, right across here. And I'll like just drag my skin across. Getting some rotation and dragging the tissue across. Digging the tissue across, across. Finding your breath. Dragging across. Next one, descending colon. Same pathway, but now down. Moving the tissue, instead of up, I'm moving down on the left side. Moving down, moving down, moving down. Perfect. Now, the colon switches and goes down into the rectum. So just where the ileocecal valve was up and down, you're going to go down and in. So from the ilium down towards the pubic bone. I'm moving. So there's the belly button. I'm moving the energy this way. Get in there. And feeling your movement through the body. And there's your digestive tract. Okay? So you got the whole epigastrium, stomach, small intestine, ascending, transverse, descending colon with the rectum, and then there was the ileocecal valve over here. Next organ that we're going to do on the front is either for females, the uterus, or for males, the prostate. When this is swollen, we'll get pain along the back. Okay, guys will get it, boom, right there. Girls will get it when you're on your menstrual cycle. So when you have stiff and swollen low back, it could be the colon referrals or these 2 points. So we're going to work on this. So you have the belly button, you have 2 inches to the left and 2 inches down. And then there's the reflex for the uterus and or the prostate. And I like to take my fingers and move in a circle. Clockwise, counterclockwise, it doesn't matter. Or percussion. Percuss, percuss, percuss. Or dig in and move the tissue. And it's like, okay, I feel something. I feel that tissue, feel that organ. And that's your uterus or your prostate point. The next one in the front is the adrenal glands. They sit on top of the kidneys like 2 little triangles on top. So you got from the belly button 2 inches up and 2 inches out. And just like the uterus or the prostate, the adrenals, I like to circle or percuss. Yep, there it is. Find my breath, find my movement. And there's the adrenal glands. And the last 3 in front are going to be so here's your pubic bone, here's your belly button, here's your hip, okay? Here's your ilium. It's like coming right into the middle of all of that, right here into that groin tissue. That's going to be either your ovaries or your uterus reflex points, okay? So again, percussion is one of the most beneficial for this one, along with rubbing, but I think percussion gets some of the best benefits. So you'll do that. And then the last one for here is the bladder. So you got pubic bone, belly button, 4 inches down, and there's your bladder. And trust me, if you have a full bladder, go pee first. Then come back and do the bladder, okay? And you got the bladder. Again, moving it just like you did the small intestines, percussing that, and moving that through, percussing that, moving that through, finding what technique works best for you with that particular organ. Again, I like those 2 techniques the best. So those are all the front organs that we're going to be working on, that we worked on the front, moving all the way through the digestive tract. The last one that we're going to be working on is the kidneys. So just where the adrenal glands are, same location right on the back. And there's your kidneys. And you percuss your kidneys. You can do one or the other if you can't reach with your shoulders. Finding your breath, finding your rate, and finding your rhythm. If your arms get tired, just stop, relax, and then restart. So those are all of our organ systems that we have working for the body. The stronger these organ systems are, the more chemistry they're able to move. And specifically, like I talked about, the vitality centers and the detoxification. Now, the liver does some really cool work with the colon and the spleen and the pancreas for detoxification. You got phase 1, where the body takes the chemistry, takes the waste out of any tissue, fat tissue, connective tissue, muscle tissue, joint tissue, tissue, and brings it over to the liver. That's phase 1. Phase 2, it utilizes a lot of antioxidants like glutathione and vitamin C's and a lot of other cofactors to neutralize that waste, open the waste up, and then flush it over into the colon. That was phase 2. Phase 3, it's now in the colon that it gets filtered through the kidneys and the colon system until it's completely neutralized of water. All the waste is eliminated, and any recyclable nutrition it got pulled back into it, and then the rest of it we pee, poop, breathe, and sweat it out. So again, back to your breathing, you've been working on moving this energy really, really well since the beginning and getting these systems to work. Now, the last system, the functional system of this technique here is a combination of 4 organs: the spleen, the pancreas, the duodenum, or the first 12 inches of that small intestine, and your right kidney, okay? Along with L2 vertebra, okay? Which is, if you put your hand here on your waist, it's directly right behind you. So can't miss L2 vertebra, okay? Now, these 4 organs with that vertebra is called Ming Men, or in English, the storehouse of vitality. So you think this is really important? Yes, this is extremely important. So you have the spleen, blood, recyclable hemoglobin, iron for immunity, and bile for bilirubin for bile to emulsify fats, which is hormone, which is fat vitality. Say that 10 times fast. Fat vitality, really powerful. Into then the pancreas, which is enzymes, blood sugar, and energy. Into the first 12 inches of the small intestines, all metabolism that starts, all your digestive juices and enzymes really getting going in here for metabolism and energy and nutrition and hormone, all that kind of stuff, into the right kidney, which is your energy point for vitality of sex energy. This is the most vital energy. Hormonal, sensual, sexual energy is the energy that moves, that we've been moving all along throughout the system, that connects to that genital urinary function of the uterus, ovaries, prostate, and testicles into the kidneys and bladder. So those 4 organs and L2 brings out the vitalistic expression of life. So how do we do this? We've already done all the organs. So how do we combine it? We do spleen, pancreas, first 12 inches of small intestine, right kidney, L2 vertebra, repeat. 3 to 5 breaths, 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 repeat. You can do that 1 round, 3 rounds, 5 rounds. The more you do it, the more you'll feel the expression. And then adding spinal twist. Open up that epigastrium, open up that channel. Whoo, you have some endorphins, you got some feel-good energy running throughout your entire body. So we have all of the organs, and we have Ming Men, the storehouse of vitality with L2 vertebra. All right, guys, do the drill, learn the skill, pause, do, play, continue, and repeat. Start adding as much as you can from the previous videos, specifically your breath work and your cranial sacral flow as you do this to pump the energy. Or you can do all your breath work and then, okay, I'm going to do my organs just with normal breathing. Or you can do all of this work and then do the breathing afterwards with the cranial sacral and normal and reverse. You can do them in so many different orders, but just doing the drill and learning the skill gives you talent, ability, and functionality within your everyday life. All right, guys, I'll see you next time.